What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be ranking around 60 quarterbacks in tier list. So obviously we have our categories. I'm going to start by explaining it to y'all. First is Mahomes. It's obviously for Mahomes, the best quarterback in my opinion. Next is for elite. So it's for those guys that are really, really good, but they're not on Mahomes level yet. Next, we have playoff quarterbacks. There are teams that can lead you to they're quarterbacks that can lead you to the playoffs, but they might not be a Super Bowl, and they're not gonna be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Next, you have the melting pot starters. This is basically just like good, solid starters. They can lead you to a playoff, or they could be okay, but they're gonna be definitely just like solid players. Next is can win or lose games by themselves. So this is all the players that they can either be really good or they can just be terrible. So that's their own category there. Next is the young and high potential. That's the real young guys who can be the future of the league. Could be really good, could be really bad. Next is bridge QB. So all the guys that if you're in between a veteran and a rookie, just be guys that will just be there for a year, maybe a few weeks, and you can basically just transition. And lastly is backups, pretty self-explanatory, just all the backup quarterbacks. So first we're going to start out with Josh Allen. He is in the elite tier. I think he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He just isn't quite on Mahomes level yet, but he can do some great things. It's going to be interesting to see this upcoming year with losing his number one wide receiver and number two wide receiver, how he's going to do. Next, I think this is Taylor Heinicke. He's like a bridge quarterback. He can obviously do some things. He can be good, but usually he's pretty mid, okay. But he's not going to lead you to the playoffs or be a good starter. Next, we got Jacoby Brissett. Same thing, bridge quarterback. He knows his role. He helps out the young guys and just basically gets your team through a tougher time, right? Next is Jake Browning. He is a backup. He was kind of serviceable when Joe Burrow was out, but he's still not very good. I don't think he's going to be in the NFL much longer. Next, we got Joe Burrow himself. He is also in the elite tier. He was injured last year, obviously, but whenever he is on the field, he is great and one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I expect the Bengals to do pretty good next year. Next is Derek Carr. I'm saying he's probably in like a can win or lose games by themselves category because we've seen flashes. He had that amazing season back in 2017 or 18, but ever since then he hasn't been that good, and I expect that he might lose his job. So he could also go in the bridge quarterbacks, but I think he could win or lose a game by himself. Next we got Kirk Cousins. I would say he's in the melting pot of starters. You don't really expect him to make a deep playoff run, but he can definitely be serviceable. And obviously, this is his second team. He's on the Falcons now. Be good, he could be bad. Just don't really know. Next, we have Daniel Jones. I'll say he can win or lose games by themselves. Daniel Jones is interesting. Obviously, he had that season 2 years ago that got him that gigantic deal, but ever since, he wasn't really good last year. Probably going to get benched. But if he's playing as good as he can, when in the prime Daniel Jones we've seen, he can win some games. But he also is very mistake prone. And it's just a toss-up with him, honestly. Next, we have Sam Darnold. He is a bridge QB. He's not going to do anything for you, really. He might be able to play a few games, but he won't really be that good. He could also be a backup, but this upcoming year, he can maybe be okay on the Vikings. He's going to probably start over J.J. McCarthy, but I expect that he'll be there for a few games, then be benched. Next, we have Jane Daniels. He's young and high potential. He could be a superstar in this league. He had amazing stats in college, led one of the best offenses in the country, but there's also the worries of whenever you have two first-round wide receivers with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, is it because of your situation or is it because you're that good? He also had Will Campbell, amazing left tackle, going to probably be top top 5 pick next year. So he could be really good. He could really excel, or he could just be a bust. So we're going to see how he does in Washington. Next, I don't know why I called him Sam Darnold. That's Andy Dalton. But same thing. Sorry for that, y'all. This is Sam Darnold. Same thing. Bridge quarterback. Just, it's going to be okay. But don't really expect much. Next is Tommy DeVito. I got him the backups here with Jake Browning. He can be serviceable, but he's not going to do much. If y'all have enjoyed the video so far, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me any suggestions in the comments for videos, or tell me any takes you have on this video. If you think some of my takes were wrong, tell me in the comments. And make sure to like and subscribe. Next we have Justin Fields. He can win or lose a game by himself. He can, whenever he's playing good, he can play very good. He's not the best quarterback, like arm wise, but he's a pretty good runner. And with him in Pittsburgh this next year, I know Russell Wilson's the starter, but he could definitely make some noise with some new scenery around him. So watch out for the Steelers next year. They could either be really good or really bad. So we got Joe Flacco. I think he retired, so he's going to go in backups. He can also be a bridge quarterback, but he's more of a backup. I mean, he had that insane run last year, but I doubt he's going to do much. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's probably also a bridge quarterback. He's okay. He can probably lead you through a few games, but I don't think he's going to do much. He's probably out of the league 2 years max. Next, we have Jared Goff. He's a melting pot of starters. And with this category, I want to emphasize to y'all, this doesn't mean they can't go on a playoff run or win a Super Bowl. It just means that they can be replaceable. And they're not like this, the cornerstone of the franchise. I know he got paid a crap load of money, but he's not the cornerstone of the franchise. He can lead the Lions to the Super Bowl, but he's not going to excel. He's not going to become their best player. He's not going to become a top 5 quarterback. You could argue top 10 with him, but I don't know if he's never going to be in an MVP discussion or anything. So he's a perfect example for a melting pot of starters. Next, I don't even know who this guy is. Is that Taylor Heineke? I don't know who that first guy was. Maybe it was that one Bears quarterback. I'm going to put him in backups then. Taylor Heineke, like I said earlier, just a solid bridge QB. Not going to do much for you, but could definitely be serviceable. Next, we have Herbert. I would say he's in the playoff quarterbacks, and that's just because I think he's a great quarterback. His team obviously wasn't very good last year. He got injured, but with Jim Harbaugh coming in, he doesn't really have as many wide receivers, but the Chargers could definitely make some noise. Will they win the Super Bowl? Will they go on a deep playoff run? I don't know. But I think next year they should be making the playoffs and doing better. And Justin Herbert will be leading them. Next we have Sam Howell. He's a bridge quarterback. Because I don't think he's bad. He's in Seattle now. He could definitely become a future starter in the NFL. So actually, I'm going to move him up. Can win or lose games by themselves. He could be a good starter. He's obviously a backup to Geno Smith right now, but Geno Smith's going to retire in a few years. So Sam Howell could definitely be solid, but he could also just be terrible. And he's had amazing performances. He's had pretty bad ones. So it's a lot of just like maybe. A lot of people compare him to Baker Mayfield. I also kind of see that. This is Tyler Huntley. So we've seen him just come behind Lamar. We've seen him basically pause. We've seen him just be a backup for Lamar. If Lamar's out, he's a serviceable quarterback, but I don't think he's ever going to be a bridge quarterback where he can go to different teams and be a starter for a few weeks. I don't know if he can do that. I think he's more of a backup. If he gets put in, he's going to try, but I don't think he's going to be that great. Next, we have Jalen Hurts. I want to also say he's a melting pot of starters. And you might argue with me saying, well, he's a playoff quarterback. He's really good. Which is true. He is pretty good. Especially last year, he showed a lot of weakness, and I don't know if he's actually going to become one of the better quarterbacks. a lot of people make fun of the tush push stuff with him. And with Jason Kelsey leaving, how will Cam Jurgens do as the new center? I don't know. Will he have as good as stats? But Jalen Hurts, he can be really solid. But I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. Like Herbert, Allen, Burrow, or Mahomes. I don't think he's up there. Next, we have Lamar. He's also elite. He's phenomenal. Won the MVP last year. He really showed he can pass and run. Ravens obviously made the championship last year. They lost in the championship to the Chiefs. And it wasn't all Lamar Jackson's fault. There was also, they just stopped running the ball for some reason. So if Lamar's coordinators actually are smarter next year and he doesn't get injured, the Ravens, they could definitely win a Super Bowl. I could see it. Next we have Trevor Lawrence. I'm gonna put him in young and high potential. Obviously he has his deal coming up, but we just haven't seen him succeed good enough yet. But he definitely has the potential. And you could say he's the melting pot of starters. I don't know that you can replace him as easily, because he still feels young to me. He still feels like a young quarterback. And he still has potential to become top 5 quarterback in the league if he wanted to. But right now at Jacksonville, I would say he's probably around top 15, top 10-ish. So he's obviously has potential, and he's pretty young. He's more of a category himself, though, between those two. Next, we have Will Levis, young and high potential. The cannon. He obviously got leaked the other day. I don't know if y'all saw that, but he definitely can. He can win a game. He has very high potential. His arm strength is phenomenal. He has an absolute cannon, but I don't know if he's going to be really good. He obviously could. He obviously could be the next Josh Allen, is a good comp. But he could also just fizzle out and become a bridge quarterback. But he definitely has the potential to become one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Next, we have Drew Lock. He's a bridge quarterback. He is at New York for this upcoming season. Watch out for him to be the starter over Daniel Jones. He might eventually take that role, probably around midseason. And he's just a curious case. He was good in Seattle last year whenever he got some touches. But before that in Denver, he was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And he was picked high for a reason. He's coming out of Mizzou. Pretty good in college. So he could definitely become a starter. But right now, I feel like it's safer to put him as a bridge quarterback, because I don't know if he's actually going to excel enough. Especially in New York. They don't have many wide receiver weapons. Don't get me wrong. He'd definitely do really good. But I'm just not sure about him yet. Jordan Love's a melting pot of starters. He had his breakout season last year in the second half of the season. Beating my Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs, so I was very sad about that. I feel like people tend to overhype him. He was obviously very good in the second half of the season, but will this continue? And I'm not exactly sure it will. Obviously, he's in a great sports city in Green Bay for football. They have a really good track record of quarterbacks. Sat behind Rodgers for 4 years. Personally, I think he's going to become one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but I don't know if he's ever going to make it out of just the melting pot of starters. I don't know if he's ever going to make it to the playoff or elite tier. He's obviously going to be really good, but I just don't know if he can ever get that extra level. Next, we have Mac Jones. He's a bridge quarterback, tending towards a backup, honestly, but he just wasn't really good last year, and he got benched, obviously, for Bailey Zappi. Starter, he's in Jacksonville now, so he's going to be sitting behind Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence gets injured. He could definitely do okay, but really at Alabama, he was more of just like a game manager. Patriots, that's how I played too. Not very good, but he could definitely become a solid quarterback. Mahomes gets his own tier. He is phenomenal. Won his third Super Bowl last year. It's amazing. Honestly, he's probably second in the GOAT conversation behind Brady. Win some more Super Bowls, so we could be talking about it. But he is definitely just above. He's a tier above everybody else. It's crazy how good he is. Except Marcus Mariota, he is a solid backup. He's not going to become a bridge quarterback. He's going to be okay. If your quarterback gets injured, he could probably do a game or two. Maybe win you a game. But he's not going to do anything special. It's crazy how much he fell off from college because he was real good at Oregon. But yeah, he's just not very good. Next we have Drake May. He's also good with young and high potential. It's in that New England offense. They have a new coach. Bill Belichick is out. He has all the tools. Question is, will they basically let him use all of his tools to be good? And I'm not sure if they will. But we're definitely going to see. I think he's going to succeed, but you never know with the Patriots. Next we have Michael Pratt. He's going to be a backup. A lot of y'all might not know who he is. He's out of Tulane. He's pretty good. He could definitely get up to a solid quarterback, but I just don't know. I don't know where he's at right now. But he could be okay. I think he's in New York or something. Next to Baker Mayfield, he's the exact model of can win or lose games by themselves. He was obviously really good last year. Or he's not really good, but he was good. And before that, he has some really bad games. So it's a toss-up with him. I do think he is going up, though. Buccaneers are going to probably make the playoffs next year. Just watch out for them. Next, we have J.J. McCarthy, another for young and high potential. In that Vikings offense, they have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. They have a pretty solid line. T.J. Hawkinson. He has the tools. He has all the weapons. Justin Jefferson just got signed this morning for a 4-year, $140 million contract. So he's going to have him for his basic rookie contract. He's going to sign Sam Darnold probably for his first few games, but he's going to probably be starting by week 4, and then we're going to see how good he can be. He could be good, he could be bad. I'm not exactly sure. Next, is this Joe Milton? He's a backup. He also has a really good arm. He didn't test that well at the combine. I don't know where he is right now, but he could become solid, I guess. He might have some potential, but I doubt he's going to do anything much. Gardner Minshew is a bridge quarterback. He's solid. He can win you some games, but nothing real too special about him. Kyler Murray. I'll say he's in the melting pot of starters. He was obviously injured for most of the year last year. He didn't really have any weapons. The team was terrible. The Cardinals did not have any weapons for him. So we're gonna see. But he can definitely become a good quarterback. He just needs the weapons. He has all the tools. And with Marvin Harrison Jr. coming in, he should do better at least. Bo Nix is another young and high potential. Going out to Denver, he's gonna probably be the starter over Zach Wilson, but he's gonna be okay. I hope he does good. He's always seemed happy at Denver, but he could become a solid starter. Next is Aiden O'Connell. He's another young and high potential. Now, is his potential as high? No, but with the Raiders last year, he wasn't terrible. He was okay, and he could definitely become a solid NFL starter. Probably a bridge quarterback. Maybe a backup. Maybe out of the league. I don't know. Maybe we'll just forget about him after next year whenever he's just out of the league. But in my opinion, he has some good potential, and he could definitely become something. Next is Michael Penix. He's another young and high potential. He's sitting behind Kirk Cousins, and he's going to be sitting for probably a few years. But in probably around 2-ish years, if Kirk Cousins retires, he could become the starter. He's going to have Bijan, he's going to have Drake London, both in their prime, and it's going to be pretty good for him. He's going to have a pretty good situation. The Falcons should be good with Raheem Morris, and I'll just watch out for him. He could be definitely solid. Kenny Pickett, he's a backup. He's nothing spectacular. He's not good. He definitely fell off from the 20th pick. I thought he was going to be good. Next, we have Dak Prescott. I'm going to put him in playoff quarterbacks. And you might say, well, it's because you're a Cowboys fan. You're overrating him. I think he's better than a lot of people say. He was second MVP last year. So you just gotta give him that. You gotta, because he could definitely lead the Cowboys in a playoff run. It's not really Dak who messes up in the playoffs, it's everything else. Everybody just crumbles. So if Dak could step up in the playoffs and the rest of the team can, the Cowboys could definitely make a good run. Actually got Purdy, another playoff quarterback, just because he's doing really good in San Francisco. His talent is like a melting pot of starters, but the way the Niners play, he's in the playoff quarterback. He's not elite, but he's pretty good, and he will definitely get the job done for them. Russell Wilson's another just bridge quarterback, in my opinion. He obviously fell off. He was in the elite tier a few years ago. But I don't know if he's going to do good in, on the Steelers, and he can be okay, but I think he's going to get benched somewhat through the year for Justin Fields. Next, that's Spencer Rattler. Obviously young and high potential. He is solid. He could definitely become something in New Orleans, take over Derek Carr. I wish him really good luck. I know he's a former Sooner, but ever since he left Oklahoma as a Texas fan, I've just really liked him in South Carolina. So hopefully he does good. Anthony Richardson's probably a melting pot of starters. I was watching Pat McAfee today, right? And Anthony Richardson was on the show, and they're talking about all this stuff. And he just seems like a great dude. He seems like a great player. And I honestly think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to probably play like Josh Allen. In a few years, he's going to probably be one of the better players, one of the better quarterbacks at least. So watch out for Anthony Richardson. He could be very good. Desmond Ritter's a backup. He's not very good. He didn't do very good last year for Atlanta. There were a lot of picks. But he could do something, but not really. Rodgers is a playoff quarterback. We obviously didn't see him last year because of his injury, but at his ceiling, his floor is a playoff quarterback. His ceiling is elite. So I'm going to put him in playoff quarterback just because we didn't see him last year, but he could be a very good quarterback, and you just got to watch out for him. He could do a lot of really good stuff next year. As Keaton Slovis, he's a backup. He's obviously picked late for a reason. I don't even know if he's going to do anything. I mean, BYU, I watched BYU live last year at the Texas game, and they were not very good. So, just put it that way. Next, we got Mason Rudolph. He's another backup. He's serviceable, but he's not going to do anything. Realistically, he's not that good. So, he's a solid backup, but he can maybe do a few games for you. Geno Smith is in the melting pot of starters. He is good. He's very old, though, so he's going to probably retire in a year or two. But his story is obviously incredible. Fan favorite, but he'll be solid. Stafford, another guy in the melting pot of starters. If him and all of his weapons are healthy, he could do pretty good on the Rams, and they can maybe do something. I mean, they obviously won the Super Bowl a few years ago. Yeah, watch out for Stafford. He's definitely really solid whenever he is actually like playing. Next is Stroud. He's in the playoff quarterbacks. Obviously, I like the Texans. I like Stroud, but he is very overhyped. And I'm not saying that he's going to be bad. I'm saying that he's not one of the best quarterbacks in the league yet. He had one good rookie season, and who else did? Also, RG3 had a good rookie season. And now he's out of the league. So, he could be good. He could be very good. He could become one of the elite quarterbacks in the league, but I just don't know with the Texans and their track history if he's going to actually become one of them. But I do expect to have a good year. This is Talia Tagovailoa. This is Tua's brother. Another backup. I don't really know if he's going to make a team, honestly. He's going to probably get cut. So I don't really know why he's on here. Is this Cooper Rush? I'm just going to say it's Cooper Rush. He's another backup. Oh, no, this is Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask, he's backup. He is not very good. Probably could play a game, but no. This is Jordan Travis. He's a young and high potential. He obviously got injured last year at the end of the season. But him and Florida State were doing real good. So he's obviously on the Jets. When Aaron Rodgers retires, after like probably 2 years, watch out for Jordan Travis. He could definitely be pretty good. Next we have Tua. He's gonna be the melting pot of starters. He's not gonna win you a championship. I'm not saying that up front. I don't think he's winning a championship, but he's obviously gonna be pretty good in the regular season. He's gonna be solid. I just don't know if he has that really high ceiling like all these other guys above him. Next we have Carson Wentz. He is a backup. He used to be pretty good, but ever since that 2017 ACL or Achilles, one of those, he had that injury. Ever since then, he's just gone down the drain. I only know what team he's on. He's on, I think, the Chiefs, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, he's not going to be doing much next year. And I wish him luck, but I don't know. Deshaun Watson, he's a bridge quarterback. These past 2 years, obviously, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he honestly just fell off. And I don't know if he is the future of the Browns. I don't know if he's going to be in the league. After basically taking a year and a half off, he really just got really bad. So I don't know if he's going to really do anything. But you have Caleb Williams. He's young and high potential. He's going to be pretty good. The Bears, they're obviously overhyped. I mean, his weapons aren't really, really good yet, but they could definitely show up and do something. But watch out. Caleb Williams could be one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but he could also be one of the worst. Jameis Winston is a bridge quarterback. He could be solid on any NFL team. He's serviceable, but he's not doing anything crazy. He's not going to become one of your better quarterbacks in the league. Next, we have Bryce Young. He's young and high potential. The Panthers have some more weapons this year, so hopefully he can do something. But last year was a dumpster fire, and I don't know if he's going to really become better or good. But he definitely has a lot of potential. Wilson's a backup. Not very good. I don't know how he's not in the league yet, but he might start next year. But he's just going to be probably a journeyman quarterback. And I don't think he really has anything special in him. Tyrod Taylor is a good bridge quarterback. He can be there if your team needs him, but I don't think he's that great. And lastly, I have Bailey Zappi. He is a backup. He also started some games for the Patriots last year, but I don't think he's that good. And this concludes my list. We have Mahomes. We have the elite quarterbacks, million pot starters. Can win or lose a game. High potential, bridge quarterbacks, and backups. And this is all the list of about 60 plus quarterbacks. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. And I'm going to try and be posting more consistently for y'all. I've had a lot of stuff recently with school and other activities, but now I'm out of school, so hopefully I can start getting y'all weekly videos. And hope y'all enjoyed. Tell me in the comments what you think about this list. And have a great day, y'all.